Wildlife Safari Africa. Africa has several different types of habitats, from jungles and forests to grasslands and deserts. The second largest continent after Asia, it is home to many beautiful and dangerous animals of various sizes, both diurnal and nocturnal. These include mammals, reptiles, birds, and insects, with many being unique to Africa. Because of its biodiversity, it is a popular location for animal researchers as well as safari enthusiasts. It contains over 1,100 different mammal species, plus over 60 carnivore species, 100,000 insect species, 3,000 freshwater fish species, and over 2,600 bird species. For a lot of people who decide to visit Africa, their main interest is to view the wildlife. No other continent offers the same opportunities to see such diverse spectrum of wildlife, often in very close proximity. Land animals in Africa are popular attractions for safari enthusiasts, although they are not always treated with caution and respect. Many dangerous African animals are among the most dangerous in the world after human beings, whether hostile or poisonous. It's of the utmost importance to research the most reputable safaris so that your safety is relatively sure. In general, it's rare to get injured on an African safari, though possible, the chances are roughly 1 in 80,000. While elephants and hippos are considered the most dangerous, lions and leopards are also animals to be cautious of when touring. Several species are endangered or vulnerable due to hunting and poaching, particularly large and dangerous animals, which are prized as trophies. Endangered animals in Africa include the black rhino, white rhino, Rothschild's giraffe, Grevy's zebra, African wild dog, gray-crowned crane, and okapi. Additionally, the lion, leopard, cheetah, and African forest elephants are vulnerable species. Bringing these animals back from the point of extinction can be a very difficult process. For example, the Cross River gorilla, a subspecies of the western gorilla which inhabits the border region in Cameroon and Nigeria, went down to a population 200 to 300. Female Cross River gorillas only breed 3 to 4 times in their lifespan and give birth an average of every 4 to 6 years. This makes their recovery long and tedious, and their protection from poachers and other factors is all important. Wildebeest. The wildebeest is also known as the gnu, comes under the family of antelopes as a hoofed mammal. They have an appearance and features much like a cross between a cow and a horse. The wildebeest is native to Africa, and there are 2 species, the black wildebeest or white-tailed gnu and the blue wildebeest or brindled gnu. Gnus belong to the family Bovidae, which includes antelopes, cattle, goats, and other even-toed horned ungulates. Female wildebeest are smaller than the male and both have horns. The main food source of wildebeests is grasses. The seasonal nature of the African grasslands forces wildebeest to migrate. They like to drink daily when water is available, but can go for a few days without water. Its habitat consists of grassy plains and open woodlands in southern, central, and eastern Africa. They are especially prolific in the Serengeti National Park. Wildebeest grow to 1.15 to 1.4 meters at the shoulder and weigh between 150 to 250 kilograms. Wildebeest can live more than 20 years. The gestation period in a female is 8.5 months, producing 1 offspring. The calf is able to stand within minutes of the birth. In a few days, it is able to keep up with the herd. The number of wildebeest has increased steadily over recent years, but human habitation leads to less grasslands, which threaten their long-term numbers. The wildebeest's main predators: lions and hyenas. Wildebeest migration. The wildebeest migration in East Africa, also known as the Great Migration, takes place between Tanzania's Serengeti National Park and Kenya's Masai Mara and is one of the greatest wildlife spectacles on the planet. Thousands of wildebeest and zebras migrate between the Serengeti and the Masai Mara, constantly driven by their search for fresh grazing. The massive herds are closely followed by predators, lion, hyena, and cheetah, making the most of every opportunity to catch their next meal. The precise timing of the annual wildebeest migration depends on the rains. It is a very unpredictable and spontaneous natural event, with calving season taking place in the Serengeti between January and mid-March. The wildebeest migration starts to head towards the western Serengeti in May or June. The best time to see the migration is generally between June and August, when the wildebeest congregate and prepare to cross the famous Gurmiti River. If you are in the Masai Mara, you can expect the wildebeest to make their arrival as early as July, but they generally arrive between August and September and remain in the Masai Mara between October and November. Between the end of November and January, the wildebeest gradually begin their migration from the Masai Mara back towards the Serengeti. Giraffes. The tongue of a giraffe can be as long as 45 centimeters. Giraffes have the same number of vertebrae in their necks as humans, 7 in total, but much larger. Giraffes are 6 foot tall when they are born. It's thought that the giraffe's neck has grown so long due to the males mating battles. During battle they whip each other with their necks and heads, the winner and eventual mate usually being the one landing the harder blows, enhanced by a slightly longer neck. There are 9 recognized subspecies of giraffe: Nigerian, Kordofan, Nubian, Reticulated, Rothschild, Maasai, Thornycroft, Angolan and South African, or Cape. The giraffe is the tallest of all land mammals. Fully grown, its horn tops reach up to 6 meters above ground level, and a calf is born 6 foot tall on average. They are well known for their long necks, which can be 6 to 7 feet in length, but surprisingly, the giraffe has the same number of vertebrae in their necks as a human. Giraffes have spotted patterns, each one having its own unique pattern. They have small horns or knobs on top of their heads that grow to be about 5 inches long. These knobs are used to protect the head in fights. Their long necks help giraffes eat leaves from tall trees, typically acacia trees. The tongue of a giraffe can be as long as 45 centimeters. In dry, arid areas, giraffes can go for several days without water, rely on remaining hydrated from the moisture content in the leaves they feed on. If there is water readily available, they will drink daily. They need to splay their forelegs and bend their knees to get their long neck to reach down to the water. Giraffes mainly in the savannas of Africa, where they roam freely among the tall acacia trees, arid land, dense forests and open plains. Most popular national parks to spot giraffes are Murchison Falls NP in Uganda, the Masai Mara and Laikipia in Kenya, the Serengeti NP in Tanzania, South Luangwa NP in Namibia, Etosha NP in Namibia, Okavango Delta in Botswana, Wang NP in Zimbabwe and Kruger NP in South Africa. Males weigh between 2,400 and 4,000 pounds and are up to 18 feet tall. Female giraffes are smaller and lighter than males, and weigh between 1,600 and 2,600 pounds and grow to be about 16 feet tall. Giraffes live to an age of around 25 years in the wild. The gestation period for giraffes is between 14 to 15 months, a fire which a single calf is born. Very occasionally they have twins. Mothers give birth standing up. Generally, their 16-month period between calving due to such a long gestation period. Breeding can occur at any time of the year, with the conception peak generally happening in the rainy season. Adult giraffes do occasionally get attacked by lions, but it is not common. However, the calves are particularly vulnerable and their main predators are lion, leopards, wild dogs, and the spotted hyena. Sadly, up to 50% of calves do not survive their first year. Giraffes are hunted for their meat, coat and tails. The tail is prized for good luck bracelets, fly whisks, and string for sewing beads. The coat is used for shield coverings. Habitat destruction and fragmentation are threats to giraffe populations. African elephant. The African elephant is the largest living land mammal. An elephant can weigh 6 to 7 tons and has no natural enemies. An elephant drinks up to 160 liters of water per day. The African elephant is the largest land mammal on Earth. There are 2 species of African elephant, African savanna, Loxodonta africana, and African forest, Africana cyclotis. The African elephant has a marked dip between its fore and hindquarters, giving a concave curvature to its back. Its ears are large and fan-like and mainly used to control body temperature by the blood circulating through the large vessels in the ears being cooled by flapping. As you would expect, they have acute hearing. Large tusks are present in both sexes. They first appear at the age of about 2 and continue to grow throughout their lives. Elephants use tusks for peeling bark off trees, digging for roots, herding young, drilling for water, and sometimes as a weapon. An elephant's skin is up to 2.5 centimeters thick in places. The trunk is probably the most fascinating feature of the elephant. It has 2 prehensile protrusions at the tip. The Asian elephant has only 1. The elephants use their trunks for eating, drinking, dust and water bathing, as well as an important form of communication. The trunk also shows the mood of an elephant. It uses its trunk to ward off other elephants and intruders, and also as a punching or thrusting weapon. An elephant has a strong sense of smell and can locate hidden water by smelling the earth above it. An elephant has very small eyes in relation to its head and has poor eyesight. Elephants form deep family bonds and live in tight social units. A family is led by an older matriarch and typically includes 3 or 4 of her offspring and their young. Males tend to lead the family unit between the ages of 12 and 15 and may lead solitary adult lives. Elephants spend about 16 hours a day eating. Their daily intake is between 4 and 7% of body weight. Elephants drink up to 160 liters of water per day. A mature elephant can carry up to 6.8 liters of water in its trunk. Their diet is varied and includes grass, leaves, twigs, bark and fruit. Elephants are found, south of the Sahara, in 37 different countries in Africa, but are most populous in southern and eastern Africa. Food and water needs to be plentiful. The male elephant is much larger than the female. Male elephants grow up to 3.5 m and females up to 2.7 m. Males can weigh up 6 tons, whilst females up to 2.7 tons. The life expectancy of a wild elephant is up to 60 years. Elephants do not have any specific mating season. The elephant gestation period is 20 to 22 months. Calves weigh about 120 kilograms at birth and they are born throughout the year. They are weaned at 3 to 8 years, generally just before the birth of the next calf. A cow can give birth every 3 to 4 years. Elephants have no natural enemies, they are not a predator and there is no animal large and strong enough to challenge the elephant. However, their future is threatened by increasing human populations, which causes the loss of their natural habitat plus the continued poaching for the illegal ivory trade. Zebra. The most common species of zebra found in Africa is the plains/Burchell's zebra. Other species found are the very rare and endangered Cape Mountain zebra, Hartmann's zebra, a subspecies of mountain zebra, found mainly in Namibia, Grevy's zebra, found mostly in Kenya. Related to the horse, a Burchell's zebra is of stocky build with wide black and white stripes that run diagonally and lengthways on the rump and continue on to the belly, all the way down to hooves. The mane is upright and striped to match the neck. The tail is striped with a dark tassel. Zebra stripes are as individual as a human fingerprint. Grevy's zebra has narrow stripes set closely together. Horizontal stripes on the haunches, shoulders, and legs are short and fine and extend all the way down the legs to the hooves. The mountain zebra has wider stripes than the Grevy's zebra, particularly on its rump. On both Grevy's zebra and the mountain zebra the underside off the belly is completely or mainly white, which differs from the plains/Burchell's zebra whose stripes wrap around from the back to the belly. Zebras, although nervous and jumpy, are very sociable animals and generally found in large herds with other herbivores such as antelopes, wildebeest, giraffe and buffalo. Zebra are exclusively grazers, eating over 50 different species of grasses. The plains/Burchell's zebra lives throughout the grasslands, savanna, and scrub of East Africa, reaching as far as Angola in the west, generally in close proximity of a permanent water source. Grevy's zebra lives in grasslands and thorny scrublands on the borders of northern Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia. The mountain zebra lives in the high ground of South Africa, and in the coastal hills of Namibia and Angola. Male plains/Burchell's zebras can weigh up to 300 kg and have a shoulder height of about 50 inches, whilst females are a little smaller. Grevy's zebras weigh up to 450 kilograms and both sexes weigh about the same. Zebras can live up to 30 years old, but generally the life expectancy in the wild is about 12 years due to predators. Females are about 3 years old when they give birth to their first foal. The gestation period lasts for about 12 months and the foal is usually suckled for 6 months. For males, breeding often does not begin until age 5 or 6. Zebras are prey to lions and spotted hyenas. The plains/Burchell's/Chapman's zebra is threatened by hunting and by habitat change from ranching and other kinds of farming. Both the Grevy's zebra and the mountain zebra are listed as endangered on the Red List of Threatened Species. The Grevy's zebra is threatened both by hunting and by local livestock that compete with it for water and food. Its range has shrunk dramatically, and it is now so small that environmental hazards, such as drought, can easily affect the entire species. The African buffalo. The African buffalo is Africa's only wild cow and is the same species domestic cattle. They are referred to as buffalo, Cape buffalo, forest buffalo, and savanna buffalo. They are strong and imposing, being of stocky build and cattle-like. Their coloring is blackish-gray or dark brown and both male and female have upturned horns, meeting at a central boss on their forehead, which is bigger in males. The forest buffalo is smaller and reddish-brown in color, their horns sweep up in a more backwards directions. Calves of both types have red coats. Buffalo live in herds of up to 1,000 individuals, mainly calves and females. The older males usually live away from the large herds. Large herds are usually fairly relaxed and generally do not attack, but when threatened by their main predator, a pride of lions, the strong protective bond kicks in and the females in the herd will group together to defend another under attack from a predator. In large numbers, they are capable of easily driving away a pride of lions. The older males that live away from large herds either alone or in small groups are much more likely to charge. Buffaloes are grazers and their diet consists of a variety of grasses, including the coarser grasses that other wildlife leave behind. During times of drought, they will also eat the leaves of shrubs and trees. The best time to view them is early morning or at dusk when they are out grazing. During the heat of the day they tend to seek cover in shade or forest areas. Buffaloes need to drink at least once a day, so they are never far from a water source. Buffaloes are widespread across eastern and southern Africa. They are usually found in large herds on open grasslands, savanna, swamps, floodplains, woodland, and forest edges. As they need to drink at least once a day, they are usually no more than 15 kilometers away from a water source. At shoulder height then, can range from 1 to 1.7 meters with its head and body length ranging from 1.7 to 3.4 m. Savanna-type males can weigh anything from 500 to 910 kilograms, females, and slightly smaller and weigh less. The forest buffalo is much smaller and weighs in at 250 to 455 kilograms. A buffalo's lifespan is between 15 to 25 years. Females first calve at 5 years old. The gestation period is about 11.5 months, and they give birth to a single calf, mainly during the raining seasons. Calves are generally weaned at approximately 10 months old. Males leave their mothers when they are 2 years old and join the bachelor groups. The young buffalo's horn boss is fully only upon reaching the age of 5 to 6 years. Being a member of the Big Five, a name which comes from the days of colonial hunting, they used to under great threat as there were a prize trophy kill. However, in more recent times, their numbers have been built up and they are widespread and their current status is not under threat. Lions are their main predator. Outside national park boundaries, buffaloes often come into conflict with humans, they break fences, raid cultivated crops and may spread bovine diseases to livestock. Rhinoceros. There are two types of rhino found in Africa, the black rhino and the white rhino. Black rhinos are more rare than white rhino. The white rhino has a more prominent square lip, are larger than black rhino and are not as aggressive as black rhinos. Black rhinos have a pointed mouth with a hooked lip. Black and white rhinos are gray in color. Both the black and white rhino have two horns, the longer of which is in the front. They are made of keratin, which is the same material as hooves, fingernails, and hair. The horns grow out of the skin. Rhino survival is severely threatened by the demand for their horns. In the 1970s, Arabian countries used them in production of dagger handles. There is a high demand from Asia for rhino horn for use in traditional medicine. The horn is just hair and has no medical benefit, and ornamental carvings. White rhinos are grass eaters, grazers. Black rhinos are browsers, eating a large variety of vegetation, including leaves, buds and shoots of plants, bushes, and trees. Black rhinos have various habitats, but are mainly found in areas with dense, woody vegetation. White rhinos live in savannas with close access to waterholes, mud wallows, and shady trees. The white rhino is larger and heavier than the black rhino. White rhino weighing 1,800 to 2,700 kilograms. Height, 5 to 6 feet, 1.5 to 1.8 meters, tall at shoulder. Length, 12.5 to 15 feet, 3.8-5 meters, length of head and body. Black rhino weighing 800 to 1,350 kilograms. Height, 4.5 to 5.5 feet, 1.4 to 1.7 meters, tall at shoulder. Length, 10 to 12.5 feet, 3.0-3.8 m, length of head and body. The white rhino lives to about 50 years and the black rhino about 30 to 35 years in the wild and 35-45 plus years in captivity. White rhino gestation period is approximately 16 months, with a birth interval of one calf every 2 to 3 years. Black rhino gestation period is approximately 15 to 16 months. Birth intervals of a single calf every 2.5 to 4 years. A calf will remain with her mother for 2 to 4 years. Man has been the main predator of the rhino, poaching them for their horns. Efforts are ongoing to save the rhino from extinction.